maybe you want to scoot back a little bit.
Okay.
Just, yeah.
So are we on? I think we're on, right?
Let's see if the camera is. What does it say? Yeah, you are live.
All right. Good morning, everyone. AAA's Friday Fun Day is live right now. I'm Louise Sakihama, and I'll be talking about this beautiful runner that we are going to give some tips and tricks on. We're not going to sew it today, but we are going to talk about tools and some tips that I have come up with having made this before. So let's see, let's get to, oops, where do I see the camera here?
See it?
Yeah, here we go. Should I just wait until more people come in?
Yeah, I would just wait a
Okay.
second. Or to just say hello to everybody.
Yeah.
And
Get back here to myself. Hi, Amina. Good morning. Karen, good to see you. Oh, Connie, good morning. Is that your little pug there, Connie? Hey, Nancy, how are you today?
hello, everyone. Welcome. Welcome. It was supposed to rain last night, but it was beautiful
Yeah,
this morning.
it's beautiful this morning. I stepped out the door and it was like, bang, the sun was out.
Oh, really?
Really nice.
Did you go for your walk this morning?
No, unfortunately, I can't walk anymore.
Oh,
All
that's
that long
right.
distance. I kind of had a knee injury, and so I'm getting myself back up. I can walk for like 15 minutes now, as opposed to an hour and a half. Hey, Jeannie, good morning. Happy Friday Fun Day. Can't believe it's Friday again. I think I'll just go back to the piece here. So here is a beautiful table runner that we are using some beautiful striped fabric from AAA today, and I'm going to go over the pattern. We're not going to sew it today, but I'm going to give you some interesting tips that I have figured out using tools that we have at the store that would make this so much a fun project to do. So let's see. Here's the pattern. It's called the Easy Stripe Table Runner. And so okay. All right. So here's the finished product is here.
That's beautiful.
And we have some beautiful backing fabric for it. And everything you need to make this is available at the store. So I'm going to start with the fabric. But before we even talk about cutting into the fabric and trying to figure out, I highly recommend using Tarot Magic. Can you see it okay here?
Just lay it flat on the table.
Oh, here we go. Tarot Magic. And I sprayed it on once, and I sprayed it a second time. And I sprayed it to the back side, and I pressed on the front side. You need to have it be fairly stiff to be able to work easily with the striping on this fabric. So Tarot Magic. And then the next tool we have is what you need here to be able to do this effectively is what's called the 60-degree triangle, and it is this is an 8.5 inch made by Creative Grids. And the unique thing about it, I'm gonna show you one that's out of the package, is the fact that it has a nice squared off point, so it squares off your corners as you, so that making your piecing a lot easier. So once you've got all your fabric prepped, then you have a creative time to determine which one of these stripes you want to use for your table runner. So I'm going to use the example that I made to be able to show you where you can place it. Because what you need to do is you need to create two stripes that are mirror imaged. So I'm going to point up here. So if you're counting down, I always give myself some color markings here. So you're going to count down from the top until you hit that maroon stripe here, and place your ruler right on the right in the space between the maroon and this green and gold. And you look on down, and at the very bottom here, you'd be able to cut right alongside this very large border of circle pattern here. And so as you move down the fabric, you'll find a second repeat of the same pattern here. Again, looking for the maroon and the green. And you have to be careful because it's not exactly a automatic repeat. You need to find exactly the same sequencing, and you'll notice that if you've done it right, you'll find that the ruler will be in exactly the same point as you had on the uppercut. So I guess I'm going to stop right now and see whether you have any questions about that, because that's the critical part about this pattern, is that you have to have two exact mirror image pieces. Hey Birdie, how are you this morning? Fancy Pants, good morning to you. If there are no questions, I'm going to move on because I'm going to work in the next part of the demonstration with pieces that I've already cut. And just so that you know, out of this is a 1.5 yards length, you can get 2 runners out of it. And so what I've shown you is where I cut for the original. And here are 2 additional stripings that I was able to get out of that same 1.5 yards. Now, as you're going through this process, you need to decide which part is going to be the center and which part is going to be the border on the end here. So I'm going to show you. You have to bear in mind that there's a 1/4 inch seam on either end of this piece. That's going to be inside the runner. So as you're looking at these 2 pieces, you see that there is kind of a white design down the center. That will be hidden. So in this particular case, I'm going to do a rough pin, and you'll be able to see that you have a green and gold center on this choice. Oops. So your center, your border will be the beautiful poinsettias on either end, and your center is going to be this green and gold line there.
Oh, that's pretty.
As an alternative, and someone may want to have a more accent in the center, we could flip the pieces so that those white lines are on the outside, but again, these will be hidden because it's just a little over 1/4 inch here. These will be hidden inside of the runner. Now if you're doing it this way, you can see where you'll have a nice big poinsettia center, and that may be a focus point that you want to have as opposed to the gold line going down. And very conveniently, the little design here around the poinsettia is conveniently at a 1/4 inch. So if you stitch right alongside that edge, you'll have a really kind of impressive, nice big poinsettia center, and it'd be like a nice centerpiece. So it's your choice of where you want these beautiful poinsettias to show up on your runner. So, just as a difference, so I kind of like this one because it stands out quite a bit. So it's really your choice, and depending on what your decor is in your room, you make a choice that way. Any questions? Hi Doris, how are you this morning? It really is a quick and fun project to do. I'm going to take this apart. So I'm going to ask Salima. Salima, which would you prefer?
I prefer that big floral in the center.
Okay, here we go.
I'm with you.
So Salima's made her choice. So now what we're going to do is just make sure that when you place your pieces together that they are mirror imaged. You can see them side by side here. So we're going to take the top piece, right sides together, matching up the top. And I always like to just put a pin in it just to make sure, because I didn't square off the edges here.
You actually can even, when you're sewing, you can even follow that line.
Yes, exactly. You
right?
can you can just follow the line right here. It makes it really easy. And on the bottom, it's just a tad over, so you could just, you have a choice to be able to make sure that if you want to have a little white showing, if not, you can just scooch it down a little bit and have, and have the green, only the green showing. So, let's make sure these guys are squared. And then the magic occurs. Now, the next thing you want to remember is that when you are cutting, the bottom of the ruler needs to be placed on your choice of what's going to be the outside of your runner. Get a little closer here, and then you're going to make, according to the pattern. And the pattern is very well illustrated. She has beautiful color pictures in it, and lots of points, interesting and reminders about what you need to do. But what you want to do is, so this way, right?
The other to the right.
To the right.
There you go.
If you make sure that you look to this illustration and place your ruler according to this instruction. So we have laid out our ruler. Let's go back here. So, and today I'm using this wonderful Quilter Select. I love this cutter. You open it up, place your hand here, first cut, and second cut. One more thread. So that's the first cut. Bring your pieces back together again, matching the edges. Then you turn this is our first cut. Our second cut, we're going to turn the ruler around and line it up with the edge you just cut, and cut again. Now, the second set of triangles and the ends are not used in the construction. You just need to have these two triangles. The first set of triangles are the ones you need to keep for the runner. Now on the other side,
I can see why Terril Magic is important. I can tell your fabric is nice and stiff.
and it's not fraying.
It's not fraying, yeah.
Makes a lot of difference. And you feel so much more confident when you're sewing, when you're not having to flick stray ends out of the way. On the other side, let's see. You would do the same thing. Line up your edges.
I'm giving you my churning.
Yes, that would be great.
Yeah.
And then you take your again, this is the set that you keep for your construction. And then your other cut. Let's see.
I'm going to start looking at striped fabric a whole different way, Louise.
That's right.
That's pretty cool.
And there's so many pretty ones out there. It's more than just this Christmas fabric, right? This is kind of awkward here.
I have the mat if you want it.
No, I'm going to just turn it like this. Let's see. It's just, I'm learning camera angles. Here we go, folks. goodness, this is a strong cutter. Okay, so again, second set of triangles get discarded. Now, here's where the magic comes in, because
oh my goodness.
Your first set of triangles lay out like this and like this, and you can see the pattern starting. But the beauty of this pattern is, you see this little square here in this corner? Let's see, let me bring it in the camera here. This way, right?
Yeah.
The triangle has been nicked off based on that ruler, so when you line up your pieces for the pattern,
Scoot it up a little bit higher up.
Little higher. Oh, a little higher up. Your stitch line is made for you. So cool. There we go. Can everybody see the point there? But what's really also cool is that we have a product called Stitch Perfection tape that you can use. Just a 1/4 inch. And when you use this, is it this way? This tape, you would take the length you need, stretch it, and tear it. Don't cut it. And that way when you are ready to take off the tape. And so this is a water-soluble double-stick tape. You don't need heat to it to make it activated. It's already sticky when it comes off the roll. And you would lay it down right on your 1/4 inch. And then you would press it. And you know it's not going to work here because I'm on camera, right?
Of course.
Come on, Terry.
I have nails if you need nails.
There we go. But you see how easy it is? It just hold it and peel it back. Then you just lay the second piece right over it. And if you accurately cut it, and you'll be stitching right along this line here at your 1/4 inch. When you flip it back, look at it's pretty close. How's that?
That's really cool.
And what I love about it is it's not heat activated. I used to burn my fingers, you know, using the other products that are out there, so I really like that. So any questions about that? And again, products. Selima has both of these for you at a 1/4 inch, and I'm going to be showing a little later how to use the 1/2 inch. Again, I've sold on these products because they are, as far as I'm concerned, brainless. You can just stick it on there.
It makes it so much easier.
It does. It does.
Makes it so much easier. Now you know it's not going to shift on you at the machine.
Right. And you can, you know, I would maybe just put a few clips, and just make sure that it's lined up. And look at this. You can also reposition it. Just peel it on back. If it's not exactly where you want it, you can just put it back down again and reposition it. Scooch it over if it's just that little bit. Those of us that are OCD,
yeah.
we would have a time of it here. Okay, so notes here. So we've cut the pieces and we're ready to go.
Jeannie says she loves the tape instead of pins and band-aids.
Exactly, Jeannie. Or if you get, here's a little household thing. If you get a little bit of a burn from your iron, which I did last night, just white vinegar.
Oh.
And you just, for instance, I burned, let's see, back here. I burned my thumb, and I just touched the edge of the iron last night, and all I did was run into the kitchen, put a little bit of white vinegar in a custard cup, and I stuck my thumb in there, and it stopped it. The inflammation went down. So, little additional tip here. Okay, so once you've done all of that, and you've stitched out your pieces, you will then cut your batting and your backing an inch larger. It's very generous backing and batting allowance for you to be able to do your stitching. You would lay your piece out on the batting and the backing, and the batting is the recommended product is fusible fleece, so you would just fuse it to the back of the backing and lay your piece out, do your 1/4 inch stitching, but leave a decent size amount along this edge so that you can turn your piece. So there's no binding involved here. I'm going to bring it back so you can see it. There's no binding. It's just turned inside. And so once you've got your thing turned right side out, I have a tip. And that is, oops.
Oh, hang on one second.
Are we frozen?
Yep.
Sorry, we're frozen.
I need to talk to my tech guy. What's going on with my cameras? Give me a second, guys. Sorry. There we go. Let's see.
Okay.
There we go.
All right. So once you have your piece sewn, you have your stitch line and you have a little bit of an opening. I'd give it at least 5 inches, 4 to 5 inches, so that you're not struggling. And then you are going to cut a 1/4 inch all the way around. But when you get to the opening, I'd recommend stopping at the opening and going up about a 1/2 inch from the seam line to create this little rectangle, and go around it and finish off your cutting. And so I've made a little sample here which shows the opening, and then so that you would end up with your finished piece looking like this, but you have this opening here. And I don't know about you, and I know Salima doesn't like to do the H word, the hand sewing.
How did you know?
So
I give it to Amina, my mom.
Yeah. So I use the 1/2 inch tape. And again, stretch and tear, and that gives you a little edge here. So I put it down on the backing side, which is going to be a little bit of an extension there. Oh, here. So what I wanted to also demonstrate here is what you need to do to cut. So up to this point, the opening is here. So I'm going to take my regular seam allowance all the way up to that point. I'm going to cut, leave that extension. Same thing with the other side. Cut down to here and take my, so there's my little extension here. This is probably too big now. Let's see. I'm going to fold it back and expose that area. I'm going to lay stitch perfection tape down as close as I can to that seam line. And again, this is water soluble, so when you launder your runner, it'll dissolve in the water, in the wash. All right, as I said earlier, it's not going to work because I'm on camera.
It's always hard to peel the ends of any of those products, you know?
Okay, here we go. Release my fingers here.
Just go up just a hair.
Okay.
There you go.
There you go. So now you've sealed your seam. I'm going to trim this back a little bit. That was my 1 inch. And now I'm going to open it up. The seam is closed. And now I can do my top stitching. I would just take 1/8 of an inch all the way around, and with the Stitch Perfection tape holds it down so you're not having any gaping there, and it just does a beautiful finish and nobody will know that there's tape in there. And it's so cool. Okay, so any questions?
That was pretty cool, Louise.
Yep. Oh, and I gotta show these guys off.
Yes, you do.
So here is something that I was just playing around with, and I ended up with a 2.5 inch strip. And so I've decided that I'm going to just play with these guys. So I just wanted to show you that, put it up higher, right? Show you that this ruler can be used for like a 2.5 inch strip if you want to cut the pieces. So here we go. Let's try this. Oops. Very strange here. For the sake of demonstration here, let's do the other side.
Dora says that could be used as a mug rug.
Exactly. It's perfect. So then, here you go. You've got your little, I decided that's how I wanted it to go, and wrong one. So there's a lot that you can do with this ruler and have fun with it.
Oh, I love it.
Isn't that cute? It's so much fun. So, you know, let your creativity go wild here. So, just to review, let's look at all the different things. Oh, and this wonderful rotary cutter. Selima has it available. So we've got the pattern, the rotary cutter, and the Stitch Perfection tape.
And the ruler's on that side.
The ruler. There we go. I think we should showcase the ruler because the ruler is the star.
Yeah,
the ruler is the star. So Selima you have all of this on the website?
I do. Everything is on the website. I posted a link earlier. It's under Friday Fun Day.
Okay. Oh, and what would also help would be the precision turning tool for your corners. These aren't really sharp corners and nice angles, but this definitely helps. And I used this, is it King Star embroidery thread. Wonderful. She has two colors, one a light and one of a little darker. So fabric is on the site as well as all of these products. So I hope I've inspired you to do this. And it's a real quick sew. I think the most time I spent was on the Terrio Magic getting the fabric ready.
Yeah.
Darsh, you're funny, a hot pad. I think it needs to be a little bit bigger. Well, you know, so maybe if I went up to a 4-inch, might definitely a hot pad would go. Second.
Change the camera so you can see you. Okay, there you go.
Maybe we should. So
now they're seeing you. There you go.
Just this beautiful.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
It's gorgeous. But just think of it. Selima's going to have another one with the poinsettias in the center.
I love it. I love it.
And this backing fabric is to die for. It is just gorgeous. So happy holidays, folks. Okay, anything else? Any questions? I'm hoping that you guys had a fun Friday with us today.
Thanks, you guys. Thanks for joining us, and we'll chat real soon, okay?
Bye.
Bye. Oh, how long is the table runner?
Oh, let's see.
Probably that's on the pattern, maybe.
Point to point, it looks like it might be about 38. If you go point to point, it's 38. And if you look at the bottom, it's about 33.
Okay.
Okay.
Perfect. Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Take care. Bye.